I'm going to share my screen with you. Let's do that. And then can you tell me what you see on your screen?
The second house, Taurus, Venus.
Amazing. Okay, so today we are going to touch on Venus coming into the picture, okay, and the second house coming into the picture. Now, before we do, I do want to go ahead and backtrack on what we discussed last week, which was um, Aries and the first house and that energy of the soul springing to life. Like when I read charts, I like to read it like a book. I like to keep that type of almost somewhat of a mythology of the soul when I read a chart. So when you think of Aries in the first house energy, I always kind of want you to make a picture of a baby being birthed into the world, right? Like, and think about that moment of being birthed into the world. That it's a warlike moment almost. It's like it's do or die for that, for the mother at least, right? It's a very fiery moment. And then equally so, when the child is birthed out of that canal, what is the first thing a doctor does? They'll hold them up and slap them on the butt so that they bring life. That's that Aries energy of like war, of fighting. Hitting him on the butt brings him to life, brings her to life, brings that soul to life into existence. And so when you think about that Aries, Mars, first house relationship, I want you to think of a baby being born, a soul being sprang into the material existence. Now, when we go to the second house, okay, the story continues of what is the first thing that happens after that baby is crying. Now that baby needs to be swaddled, right? It needs to be, they wrap it immediately with a blanket, like to show its security, show its safety, show its, giving it that comfort, right? So that is what happens with the second house, okay? When we are talking about the second house, we are always going to be talking about this is the house of the material needs of the person, okay? This is like money, safety, security. This is their foundation, okay? And this is also equally where I am able to see within a chart what the family taught that baby, what it taught that child, what did the family upbringing instill in that soul. Okay, so let's just go in order with the second house, Taurus or Venus, and we should always be relating those three things together. Second house is synonymous with Taurus, it's synonymous with Venus. The ruler of this house is Venus. The element is earth. All right. The body part is the neck, the throat, the shoulders, and the ears. Okay. So it's, if Aries was this part of the body, Taurus in the second house is this part of the body. Okay. And this is the theme of the major themes of this house are finances, luxury, money, stability, foundation of home, their instilled values, sometimes their voice, because remember this is the area of the second house. Sometimes it will come out as their voice, um, and their inherent self-worth and value. And all these things are inherited. All these things are inherited. Now, whether the person agrees with what is being taught can sometimes be seen in the chart as well. Like,
Mm.
just throwing an example out there. Let's say the person has Uranus in the second house. It would show that the family would try to teach whatever they wanted to teach that person, but that person would rebel from those
Mhm.
teachings. It will say, y'all like Christianity, I like astrology. It'll be that. You see, like when it's
Mm.
Uranus in the second. So always think of this is the house where you can see how a person was raised, what their morals and values are, just intrinsically and inherently, and then it is also how a person is to make money in their lives. Okay, this is how they're going to make money. This is the first clue within the chart that shows whatever job they have, they're going to be using that second house sign and planets. Okay,
It's so
and
interesting because I
mhm.
thought I thought that like the fourth house because you know the sign of Cancer that was like home, but I didn't
It
even
is.